TV, News 8 and 11 with Phil Sanchez.
And welcome back. So a recent report ranked Indianapolis hotels as the 11th worst in the country. We have media relations associate Melissa Stevenson to give us some perspective tonight for our unfiltered conversation. Melissa, good to see you. Why did Indianapolis earn this ranking?
Hi, good to see you as well. We did this study based off of TripAdvisor reviews. So those would be the worst of the worst reviews of 1 and 2 stars. So usually people who are reviewing things online, as we know, it takes a lot to be a 1 or 2 star. So what we did was we looked at almost 8 million TripAdvisor hotel reviews specifically. And Indianapolis actually had some of the worst amount of the 1 and 2 stars when we looked at those overall. And we did actually look at 95 different cities as well. So that also just shows, ranking 11th out of 95 that we looked at is something noteworthy for Indianapolis.
Well, that's not good. So where were the biggest offenders located? Were they downtown or outside of downtown Indy?
We didn't narrow it down specifically to different neighborhoods. We kind of did the purview of the whole city. But I do have information on what the percentages of the worst reviews were. And those were 26% of those bad reviews mentioned bad smell specifically. 17% of them mentioned too much noise. 16% mentioned bad stains. And then 10% mentioned bed bugs. And then a smaller percent, 6%, mentioned mold. So, 10% of these bad reviews, 10% is still a lot to hear about bed bugs for sure.
Definitely not what you want. The study did find, though, that Indianapolis hotels did a good job in serving guests, right? So how does the quality of service factor into the ranking?
Yes, so we looked at keywords that were specifically about service, whether it had to do with, people coming up to your room and helping you out, or just at that front desk of your first experience, or, if you have an issue, reporting it there and things like that. So between all of those keywords, we were able to sift through reviews specifically about service. And Indianapolis did rank the 11th best for that. So you got 11th worst, 11th best. So, obviously, I think it might highlight something that at least people are helpful in these hotels and there's someone on your side if you have one of these issues, hopefully.
I would imagine this information would behoove some hotel owners out there to maybe make some changes. What can they do to change their ranking for next time? The overall rankings on many websites, not just TripAdvisor,
it's the worst ones come up top, usually ones that have the most comments or most reactions. So, bolstering those positive reviews and learning from the negative to change those experiences will definitely help out on any of these platforms where people can go and voice their opinions. And, we are aware that these numbers don't mean every hotel in a city is not doing well. There's obviously ones that are excelling. But for the ones that are not getting these good reviews, it's important to be aware. A lot of people might have the mindset of people just go there to complain. I don't want to look at these negative reviews because how is it going to help me? But at the end of the day, it can really help hotel owners, managers, or, anyone working there just to be aware someone's negative experience and looking into it and seeing how can we change that? If there's bad smells, what would that smell be? There's bed bugs, let's get an exterminator in here, X, Y, and Z, the pretty typical things to turn these around, and then hopefully getting those positive reviews to just boost up the star rankings.
So one more question before I let you go. Who was the best and who was the worst?
The best we had, let me make sure I get this right.
Okay.
Let me go right back up. The best the worst, let me start with that, was Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, was our #1 worst. And then our best going down here was Provincetown, Massachusetts.
Okay.
And those were that was on the list of those 95.
Okay. All right. Well, good to know. Melissa Stevenson, thank you so much for taking some time and joining us on Unfiltered. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
And next week on Unfiltered, we'll have a response from the hotel industry here in Indianapolis to give it another perspective on that report. Until then, You can join the conversation by scanning the QR code on your screen. That will allow you to send us your experiences and comments with Indianapolis hotels. And be sure to check out the web version of this interview on UnPHILtered.com. There you'll be able to find a link to that report that was referenced in tonight's interview. You can take part in a viewer poll as well. All of that at UnPHILtered.com.